Welcome to this demonstration of on-base baseball. My name is Brian, and I'm the designer and the creator of the game. And I just want to walk you through maybe an inning or so, just to see how everything works and the way just kind of get a flow of the game. So I'm using the on-base dice roller. It's a digital application. You can find it at actually, I'll just put the link in the description to the video. And you can click on that link and go to this dice roller on any web-enabled device, and you should be able to use it on your computer, on your phone. I'm using a tablet, so any web-enabled device will be able to play it or to use the roller. And all you do is tap roll. You can see. And what it does is it rolls our two D6s and it rolls our D9, which actually gives us everything that we need in order to play it. A D9 is kind of uncommon, and from what I know about looking for them online, they're a little bit expensive to buy an actual D9 dice for rolling on the table. So this is a free application that you can just use, and it gives you everything that you need to be able to play. All right, so we have in this inning Jacob deGrom up against the Marlins. So this is Jon Berti leading off for the Marlins. And whenever we roll, we want to look at the pitcher card first, and then we want to go to the hitter card only if there's a blank next to the number that we roll. So we do our first roll, and the way we read the D6s is we read it as 3, 4. So we read the smaller number first, and then the larger number second. So this is a roll of a 3, 4. And then we come here and we look at our 3, 4. And for Jacob deGrom, a 3, 4 is going to be a blank. So that means there's no outcome from his card. And so we go over to the batter card. And a 3, 4 for Jon Berti is a double. So the outcome of the play is a double. On ground outs, fly outs, and some other different plays, the D9 comes into play. You could also say it's a double to right field. That's sort of how we play outs. You can do those any way you want. I don't usually do directions or anything for. I don't do directions for base hits or home runs or anything like that, but you can. All right, next up is Neil Walker. And Walker, a 3, 4. So back-to-back doubles. We just did that one, so nothing's going to change. Brian Anderson is next. We'll roll with Brian Anderson. This is a 1, 3. When we come to deGrom's card, a 1, 3 is blank. But here on Brian Anderson's card, that's going to be a ground out. So when there's a ground out, then you look at the D9 number. And these are numbered just like the position on the field. So 1 is going to be a ground out back to the pitcher. You can make a decision. So we have a runner at second base. There's 1 in and nobody out. So it's 1-0 Florida or Miami. Sorry, Miami now. 1-0 Miami at this point, and the runner is on second base. Remember. So when there's a ground out here to the pitcher, if you want the pitcher to look the guy back to second, that's a real conservative baseball play to stay at second. If you want him to go to third, you could roll to see if he makes it to third base. Most of the time, a comebacker to the pitcher. Pitcher's going to be aware of the guy on second base. He's going to look him back, throw over to first for the force out. So we'll just say ground ball 1, 3, and the runner stays at second base. That's 1 out. Brings up Starlin Castro. Starlin Castro in 2019 played second and third base for the Marlins. deGrom, the pitch. It's a 1-5 again. There's a blank on deGrom in space, and a 1-5 is a single for Starlin Castro. So with 1 out, I don't automatically score a runner from second to third. I will if there's 2 outs, but 1 out, I usually play base to base. So now we have runners on the corners with one out. Garrett Cooper comes up to the plate, a 5-6. Now here on deGrom's card, we do have an outcome. So he has a stamina 26. He's definitely not to his stamina number in the first inning. So this is how many batters faced. And so whenever he's not tired, you'll want to use the number on the left of the slash. The number to the right, on a card that's printed out in color, these ones on the right will all be red. But the one on the right is the number you use after the player is fatigued. So we're going to look at this first number. It's a strikeout, and nobody moves, so that leaves us first and third with 2 out. DeGrom's the kind of pitcher that can get on first and third and get himself out of the inning with strikeouts. That's a 1-6, and a 1-6 here for Brian Holiday is going to be a flyout. Since there's 2 outs, it's just a basic flyout to end the inning. If there were not 2 outs, then this advance here means that all the players, so the batter would be out, but all of the runners on base would move up 1 base. So if there was 1 out, the runner from third would have scored on a sacrifice fly. But as it is, there's 2 outs. DeGrom squirms out of that inning with only 1 run given. So it takes us to the bottom of the inning, and we're going to have Caleb Smith against the Mets. Smith is a lefty, not a great lefty, a middle-of-the-road starter, against Brandon Nimmo, the outfielder for the Mets. So we take a roll here. A 5-6 is going to be a strikeout. That's against Smith. One thing I wanted to put out here is that Brandon Nimmo does have some special splits. Not every player has lefty-righty splits, but if a player has some specific extreme values where they really get left-handed batters out well as a pitcher, or they're a hitter and they just crush left-handed pitching, and it's very obvious that it's a lefty-righty sort of issue, I'm going to put those into the cards. So there will be some sort of extreme splits, not for every player, but it will be for the players where maybe it's a platoon situation where you can put them in against left-handed pitchers, and you'll get an extra sort of boost or opportunities. Like for Brandon Nimmo, instead of hitting a fly out here on a 4-5, he would hit a home run. He actually hits a lot of home runs against left-handers comparatively. And the same thing, instead of grounding out, he did a single. So his average and his home runs, his OPS is like over 1,000 against left-handers, which is weird because he's a left-handed batter. So those types of splits are here, and I just wanted to make sure that I told you that because we didn't run into it. But that's a strikeout, 5-6. So the way I've been playing strikeouts is if this D9 roll is a 1 to a 6, it's a strikeout swinging. If it's a 7, 8, or 9, then it's a strikeout looking. That's really just a stylistic thing that you can put into the scorecard. Brings up Jeff McNeil, left-handed second baseman. And there's the pitch. So this is a 4-6. So we have a blank over here on Smith's card. And a 4-6 here is going to be a strikeout for Jeff McNeil. So that's 2 outs in the inning. Again, that's going to be a strikeout swinging. Brings up Pete Alonso. And a 2-6 here. Caleb Smith does not have anything. You can't see it here because it's cut off. But 2-6 here is nothing. And then a 2-6 for Pete Alonso is actually going to be a strikeout. So Caleb Smith comes in, strikes out the side. Not particularly uncommon for Smith. He's got a 26% strikeout ratio, or 26% of the batters that he faced, he struck out. So he actually has, quite a bit of opportunities for strikeouts. You can see here there's 2 extras on top of what the batters will do by striking out. So that would end the inning, and that would take you to the top of the second inning, and it would be 1-0. So the Marlins are already on top of Jacob deGrom in the first inning. I just want to play an inning and just sort of give you a feel for what that's like. I'll link down to a video where Tony Porter is actually going through a series of games using on base, and then you can see, with all of the different pieces in an actual game setting, switching players and things like that, how that works. Um, but there will be more full games to come for on base baseball.